Good morning, welcome to David Daily, and today I'm going to take you through how I created this thumbnail for my upcoming Halide Mark II sort of workflow video. Now I know I have my Halide Mark II tutorial, but I thought I would do a workflow video on all three of my iPhones, my SE, my XR and my 12 Pro, just as a sort of complement to that video. And so that's like you've sort of heard it here first, if you like, because I haven't like announced, or that video is still like 2 weeks away, so you're getting like an inside scoop on David Daily today. So I thought I'd just run you through this setup for that thumbnail and how I took the pictures. So the setup is very cheap, very cheerful. It is this £10 or £9.99 little ring light that my wife bought me from a bargain shop here in Manchester called B&M Bargains. That's intended to, you're supposed to like attach your phone to it and film with the ring light, but I didn't like it, so I use it as sort of a background light, and I use it for this sort of stuff. So this background, highly reflective. I cleaned it as much as I could, but yeah, it's it gets dirty straight away. I actually shot the pictures last night. This is sort of a recreation, so I'm not really too concerned at this point of getting fingerprints and smudges on things. So you can see how when I lay the light flat, how it lights up the iPhone, and here's what it looks like on the back of the camera. So what I do is, with one hand I hold it just a little bit off the table, and then with the other hand I take the picture, and then I just swap the iPhone. I make sure it's like centered. Again, this is like a recreation, so the phone's not so the camera's not like perfectly facing down. It's usually something like that. And yeah, just swap the phones out, use the alignment guides on the Sony to try and get them all in the same place, take the photos in RAW, and then come over to the computer. I'll just turn this other light off, and I'll just turn on my screen recording so you can see it better. So recording the screen now. So this is Adobe Lightroom, and you can see what the pictures look like. So this is the XR, and the XR looks good. That's all I care about. All this sort of thing can be like photoshopped out, and there's some like discoloration of the icons, like they look more blue than white, so I had to fix that as well. And I have pictures for all three phones. So here's the SE, and then the 12 Pro was the one I used for the actual merging. So I'll take you into Photoshop, and I merged all the files already. I've cut them out in Photoshop using the selection tool. It was really great actually. I've never had much luck with Photoshop's selection tools, but they seem to have got it right. Even I can use it now and use it well. This select subject and select a mask tool. No matter how many tutorials I watch on the selection tool, I can never seem to get it to work for me the way that other people can. So I wanted this fan arrangement, and for that I used the guides. So if I turn the guides on, press Command and colon or semicolon, and just make sure that they're all lined up, all symmetrical, which they pretty much are. And I originally wanted to have text coming like behind the 12 Pro or behind one of the phones like this, but it didn't really look, I can't get it to look right. I'm sure there is a way, but I'm not a graphic designer or anything. I just make it up as I go along and do what I think looks good. So I couldn't get the text to work. So at the moment the thumbnail is just going to be what you see on the screen right now, and I've left enough room to crop it 16:9 and 1:1 as well if I want to put the pictures on social media. So it's always good to do that. And in these sort of black background situations, you can always just extend the canvas, go to image, canvas size, and just type in bigger numbers here, and the canvas will extend out. So that's very useful. And in terms of the discoloration, it is just well, it was just an adjustment layer. So like hue saturation, just bring the saturation way down, and then change the mask to a black mask. So by pressing Command I, and then painting over the areas that I wanted to desaturate, which in this case was the icons and things like that. And yeah, it's very simple, nothing fancy. I did have to do a bit of cleanup on the screens. As much as I tried to get the screens like perfectly black, I still got, not sure if you can see it, but there was still some, it's not perfectly black, there is some discoloration. I think you can see it better on this one over here. Perhaps not, but it kind of went grey and then kind of faded to black. So I had to fix that in Photoshop, and I think it looks pretty good. I'm pleased with the results. And overall, it was about 2 hours, 2+ hours worth of work. So taking the pictures, that took just a few minutes. And then doing all this in Photoshop. I make it sound quick, and it is simple, but even the simple stuff in Photoshop can take a few hours. That's why I always say, try and get it right as much as you can when you're actually taking the photo, because even the simplest of jobs, just getting them right can take that time. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Keep an eye out on my main channel for this thumbnail to appear, and my highlight Mark II sort of personal workflow, full workflow video to appear as well. And thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.